Welcome to the Oracle Partner Spotlight channel on PartnerCast. This is where Oracle partners have the opportunity to feature their Oracle solutions running the Autonomous Database or the latest release of Oracle's Database 19c. My name is Kirk Gustafson, and I am a Director of Product Management in Oracle's Database Development Organization, and I'll be your host for today's PartnerCast. Today in the Partner Spotlight, we have Viscosity North America. Viscosity is an Oracle Platinum partner who has worked closely with our development team to validate and optimize the use of the Autonomous Database. They most recently participated in our Autonomous Transaction Processing dedicated beta program, and I'm excited to hear more about it. So let's jump in and learn more about Viscosity, the research they've been doing on ATP, and the value add they bring to the Oracle partner ecosystem. I'd like to introduce Jim Saprinsky, who is an Oracle ACE Director, as well as a Senior Enterprise Data Architect for Viscosity. Welcome, Jim. Thank you for joining us today.
Thanks for having me here today, Kirk. It's important that I thank your team for all the support you've provided the past several months. It's been exciting to be on the forefront of the latest developments of Oracle Autonomous Database, especially its newest flavor, ATP Dedicated, also known as ATP-D.
Yes, well, thank you, Jim. We're excited to hear about your experiences with ATP, and I appreciate you taking the time to share your experiences and findings with us, especially for ATP Dedicated. So, since Viscosity is an Oracle Platinum partner, tell us more about what you do and how Viscosity fits into the Oracle ecosystem.
Wow, that's a tall order. Basically, Viscosity does just about everything related to Oracle, including hardware and software sales. But these days, our prime focus is our managed services and professional services offerings because it seems everyone needs the expertise and guidance we're able to provide. Our customers range from huge healthcare and financial services organizations all the way to the small and medium business sized marketplace. I'm one of 6 Oracle ACEs, 5 of them ACE directors, including Charles Kim, Nitin Van Gerlikar, and Rich Nemec, heavily focused on Oracle database technology. And we also have Scott Spendolini, our Apex ACE extraordinaire, who leads the charge in that space. In fact, we just released a new Apex-centric product, AMP, that helps busy Apex development teams manage all their applications effectively, something sorely needed as Apex continues its meteoric rise as the application development IDE of choice among our customer base.
Okay, so Viscosity helps their Oracle customers navigate all the choices they have to consider when it comes to handling their mission-critical application needs, as well as their development processes. How does the Autonomous Database address your customers' unique business needs?
That's a great question. Historically, our customers have built their Oracle databases on premises within their own data centers or in rented space in a co-located data center to defray infrastructure costs. But a lot of the DBAs and CIOs I've spoken with want to get out of the data center business entirely, Kirk. They want to move to the cloud to lower human capital costs, improve reliability, and take advantage of increased security in the cloud. That's a lot easier than ever with the latest features of Oracle Cloud Infrastructure, especially Autonomous DB. First, it's all Exadata database machine technology under the covers. So that means that hands down, you're using the best technology possible for running an Oracle database. Now add to that this autonomicity. I'm not even sure that's a word, but I'm an English major, so I'm fully qualified to make those up. Whatever it is, it really means that an Oracle DBA, all they have to do is move her data to the appropriate platform, either ADW or ATP, choose the right database service for each application workload, and then step back and let the AI and machine learning capabilities that are built into Autonomous DB do its thing.
Yeah, thanks, Jim. It certainly sounds like your customers are beginning to or are already seeing the value of moving onto the Oracle Cloud and taking advantage of the Autonomous Database. Do you see any other customer trends that you'd like to share?
Yeah, absolutely. Another thing we see among our customers is that many of them have some in-house or heavily customized applications that can be really tricky devils to tune, especially when probing for opportunities for better query performance. If you're an old school Oracle DBA, like I used to be, you might have tried making things run faster by adding secondary indexes or even turning this knob and see what happens, also known as messing around with initialization parameter settings when you're not even 100% sure what those things really do to every single facet of your application workload. So what I see as a major advantage of Autonomous DB is this no more knobs approach. Stop trying to tweak performance by adding an index here or turning this knob that way over there, and then forgetting to remove the index or turn the knob back to what it was when it had no effect at all. And by the way, that's what I tried to teach all my Oracle DBA students in past life as an Oracle University instructor. I know from experience recently that not all those lessons were heeded, unfortunately.
Yeah, well, those are some great insights, Jim. Let's pivot now and talk about your experiences with the latest version of the autonomous transaction processing known as ATP Dedicated. What was your experience working with ATPD, and what did you discover? Did you encounter any issues or major challenges?
I've got to say it was surprisingly easy to work with the ATPD instance your team provided, Kirk. It offered some really great performance, mainly because my workloads were running on dedicated hardware in the Oracle Cloud. I was able to ramp it up and down between 2 and 8 OCPUs with a few mouse clicks. I didn't even have to wait long for OCI to respond to my requests, mainly because it's dedicated. Mm-hmm. It also gave me the chance to build the Transaction Processing Performance Council's, that's a mouthful, Extreme OLTP workload, also known as TPC-E, into SwingBench. I then leveraged SwingBench to perform some intense application workload testing against ATPD, especially when it was time to look at one of the newest Oracle 19.3 database features, automatic indexing, would decide to do when it encountered a reasonably intense hybrid OLTP and reporting application workload. And by the way, I'm really looking forward to my next set of explorations with the full-blown fleet management capabilities of ATPD. It'll be really interesting to see how easy it'll be to build my own CDBs and PDBs and clone PDBs between CDBs and implement a truly resilient data guard environment in the cloud using that new configuration.
Fantastic. We look forward to you doing that. And we love to hear this feedback, and it's great that you've had a great experience working with ATPD, and we appreciate your feedback that you've provided to Oracle during the beta program. Now let's shift gears and talk about some use cases. Where do you see the autonomous database bringing increased value to Viscosity's customer base or, Oracle users in general? How can an organization prepare to take immediate advantage of these latest features?
That's a great question. One really big point to consider is Application Express, Apex. It's quickly becoming the de facto application development environment at most IT shops that are using the Oracle database. First off, Apex is free to use, and it often fits really well into just about any application development space. For example, it's perfect for taking those smaller workloads that we uncover all the time within shadow IT. I call it the Excel spreadsheet that would not die. And it usually contains some unsecured data, but something that's absolutely crucial to some key facet of a business's operations. But no one in IT ever takes the time to convert it into some meaningful, shareable app. You can do that with Apex with a few mouse clicks. The reason Apex is so relevant to ATPD is that starting with the most recent release, an Apex repository is already built into your 19C database. All you have to do is export your application source code from Apex, load pertinent data into your ATP instance, import your Apex apps, and you've got a full-blown production environment able to handle just about anything you could throw at it.
Wow. Man, that's impressive. It's pretty obvious you and your colleagues at Viscosity have mastered the business use cases for autonomous database, including the autonomous data warehouse that you've worked with and both flavors of ATP. Do you think Oracle DBAs have been slow to embrace what the Oracle autonomous database could realistically offer their IT organizations?
I like to tell my fellow Oracle DBAs, my friends, there's a tsunami coming, and it's being driven by CIOs and CFOs who keep asking, why are we paying so much for this line item? And it's the DBA's job they're pointing to. When you can see your job being replaced by AI and machine learning, well, you tend to resist and hope for the best. It's a human feature, I guess. But there's actually good news here. The autonomous wave is probably approaching sooner than later. So there's still plenty of time to grab your surfboard, have a great ride. In my view, the best way to forestall personal obsolescence is to embrace these new AI and ML concepts. Learn when they're most appropriate to use and when not to, and understand the cost differential between automated versus purely human management of IT infrastructure. In other words, it's time to become an advocate for applying exactly the right technology at exactly the right time for precisely the right project.
That's great advice, Jim. Makes a lot of sense. So let's recap here if we can. We've learned who Viscosity is, the value promise of integrating Oracle ATP-D into a transitional architecture. We've taken a detailed look at some of your business use cases. Is there anything else that you'd like to share with us today?
Well, I do have this brief demonstration of exactly how automatic indexing optimized the rather intense TPEC hybrid workload by well over 2 orders of magnitude, all without flicking even one switch. I think our viewers might find that a little bit interesting.
Yeah, I think that would be interesting to see. So why don't we do that? Jim, why don't you take it from here?
Okay, I will. So let's take a look at the extreme test drive we did with ATPD. The first thing we had to do was prime the pump, which meant we had to build the TPCE simulated workload with PL SQL so that we could handle the transactions that 33 table model and this spaghetti diagram of functional implementation actually required. I used MonitorDB to keep an eye on what was going on just before I went ahead and started my 2 workloads. One was an OLTP or DML specific workload, and one was a read-only reporting workload. So here's the first one starting up. You can see that MonitorDB recognizes that, something is happening here, and some CPU utilization is definitely kicking in. I also leveraged the new SQL Developer web console to keep an eye on what was going on inside the database instance at this point. So you can see here's our CPU starting to crank up here, and I can scroll down a bit and see that the individual SQL statements that are contributing to this, including the individual sessions as well that are contributing to this rather significant uptick in workload. Now, I can also drill in to an individual SQL statement. That one's of particular interest because it sure looks like a query, but I thought we're doing DML here. Well, the answer is, yeah, actually several of these DML facets, if you will, of the workload, and this one called trade result transaction, actually require significant amount of querying against the database to find the data that it's going to update. So we're able to keep an eye on it that way, but now what I want to do is take a look under the covers. You're going to see automatic indexing here kick into gear. Hold my beer. Watch this. First thing to understand is automatic indexing is a methodology. It's an expert system that uses reinforcement learning to determine which indices, secondary indices, might be valuable. But it doesn't implement them and actually create them until it actually proves it out. So let's take a look underneath the covers. First off, automatic indexing is already enabled on ATPD. I didn't turn anything on. But right now, since the workloads have just started, there's no activity recorded. However, after the first run of automatic indexing, guess what? Here are several indices, but note, they're all marked invisible. Why? Because we haven't proven yet that they're valuable. After 30 minutes, both the DML and the query local workloads complete. And now, what are these spikes? Well, they're actually automatic indexing going back in and determining which indices are most valuable. At the end of the second run, again, only another 20 minutes later, automatic indexing decided that these indices were valuable. So to get a deeper look at what automatic indexing actually decided, I generated a report that shows at the summary level well over 600 times performance improvement for the indices that were created. And here are some of them. Notice the asterisk ones are the ones that are still invisible. So here's another statement level look. We have 3,400 times performance improvement, a dramatic change in the optimizer cost from over 300,000 to a mere 8. Here's another statement. So it's not that impressive. Yeah, it's only 400 times improvement. Still, not insignificant. And every once in a while, something really amazing. Here's one particular statement. Don't rub your eyes. That's over 1 million times performance improvement for that single statement. Like I said, hold my beer, watch this. Thanks for your attention. We're going to have a white paper coming out pretty shortly on this, and we're definitely going to have that information in there.
Wow, Jim, that was an impressive performance improvement, especially the hold my beer, watch this part. So anyway, with that said, it's time to wrap up. I want to thank you again, Jim, for being a great Oracle partner. We wish you all the best in going to market with the Autonomous Database.
It was my pleasure to be here today, Kirk. Couldn't have done it without the deep support that you and your team provided me.
Great. Well, this concludes our Partner Spotlight session on PartnerCast for today, where Oracle partners have the opportunity to feature their Oracle solutions running the Autonomous Database or the latest release of Oracle's Database 19c. Stay tuned for more Partner Spotlight sessions coming soon. Goodbye.